Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a pretty ropey rack. I don't think there are any sevens here or eights. But let me have a look at the floaters. So I'm just looking at my microphone, checking it's recording, and it is. So, nothing with the Y, or the U, or the K. I've got the ED ending. Okay, and nothing with the D. So, what to do? It's clunky. I could play Ordad, keeping Git. Not great. It would be nice to play off a G with a D. And what about using the Y for more score? Can't see a way of doing that with the D and the G. I could play Giddy, keeping AAT. 22 points. Well, that might be worth considering. Or what about this? It's not fabulous, but 21 points, and that's not a bad rack leave. IGAD is also good. That doesn't play. GAD-I is good. Finally. Yep, GAD-I for 25. Not great. Still no E. And just the C as a scoring tile. I've got Cutty onto the Y. I can't think of any front extensions to Uked, and I suspect there aren't any. Now, the square under KA looks quite hot, but the only tile I've got which goes there is the T, and Ed only takes an H and an S, as does UG, so that's unlikely to be used for good effect. Certainly not with my rack. Just wondering if I have a bingo onto the Y, and I don't think I do. This board is quite blocked, but that suits me. Nothing goes in front of DI, and it suits me because I haven't got a good rack. If my opponent bingos now, I'm very much playing catch-up. Cutty would open the board up a little bit. If the U was an E, I would have Dancetti. Tug is good, so I could play a short word in row G, which wouldn't open the board up as much as Cutty. Opponent taking a while with his move. Maybe about to come down with a bingo. I do have plays in row J, but they're not going to score very much. Now, what about column 7? Well, I was thinking about bingos ending ED. That's quite a nice play by my opponent. He stopped me playing Cutty. Only an S goes in front of Nug. My A can go in front of Ord. Nothing I've got goes in front of Ochre. Nothing goes after Wed that I've got. So, I could play a dunk, keeping double T, which is pretty grim. Or I could play aunt. I can't see a double-double. Now, what about playing down column 4, ending AY? Do I have any 5-letter plays ending AY? I don't think I do. Aunt doesn't feel very good, but that's what happens when you have a tight board. 14 points. Pretty awful. And there are no floating vowels on this board. So this is a grim game. I'm already 20 points behind. But there's plenty of action to come. Ochre takes an H in front, and a K, so the spot above Ochre looks pretty good for Hoker and Haunt. Aunt takes an S and a Y after it. Ochre also takes a Y, but nothing goes after Ord, and only an S goes after Nug, but that could be quite useful for a play ending SY. Certainly with this rack, I think it's going to be helpful to turn over as many tiles as possible. And my opponent provides no vowels, or pretty much no vowels. Nothing goes after Ur that I've got. My opponent has opened up row H, but only if you have an E. What about column 8 ending in U? I can't see anything. Now, diff is good, so I could play flock. Is there a way of playing 5 tiles in this spot? Well, much better surely Croft across here. And Tort for 29, keeping DL. Just pausing in case there's a better play in that spot. Don't think so. Still just the one vowel, so although I've drawn an E for RE, I can't reach the triple word square. But I'm only 7 points adrift. I think Tord takes an S. I think it does. Not much use to me right now. I can't score enough with that. But it's to bear in mind. Very few vowels available as floaters and only one on my rack. So if a lot of consonants are being played, that could mean the end of the game features a lot of vowels. Now Croft is fairly blocky apart from the S hook because nothing goes in front of the C or after the C apart from an H after it. And although row J is available for hooks of DI, that's not a double word or a triple word lane, so unless you've got a bingo, that's not going to score very much. Ur takes nothing at all after it, not even an S. Aunt takes a Y and an S, so column 11 is available for plays with YR and SR. Wow! Nice bingo by my opponent, 79 points. I'm a long way behind, and I've got a rubbish rack. So, what can I do? My immediate thought was clue. However, I've got a D for disrobed. So, what about weld? For 48 points, that is certainly a lot better than clue. The W not massively dangerous. It is covering the double letter square in row A. And the rack leave's quite good, so I'm going with this. Much better. Finally, some vowels. I don't think I have a 7 with this rack. I could have. So, what are the floaters? Well, there's the R of Ur. I note I've got emote in row H for a pretty decent score if I can't find a bingo. So there's the R. Can't see anything with that. I can't see anything with the R and these tiles, even though they look like they should make something. I can't see anything with the W, although if my opponent plays with the W, he could provide a couple of new floaters. I can't see anything with the E. Possibly ectosome through an O. I'm not sure about that. The L is available. Well, I have telecoms, but that doesn't fit. What about TO in column 10? Can't see anything there. DI, not available for bingo, only 6 tiles after it. So I have emote. I can't see a way of playing M and C. Although I could have words beginning CE or ME. I still can't see a play which uses the M and the C. Emote has quite a good rack leave, S and C, with a couple of floating E's on the board. Ectomeres is good through RE. That's unlikely to be available. Now, what's the best I can do through the W in case row H is taken? Well, meow doesn't get tripled. Okay. 2 new floaters, a B and a U. Can't see anything with the B or the U. So I think I'm going to go with emote for 32. That's okay. I draw the Z, which is a good scoring tile, and I have a couple of vowels. Or I have 3 vowels, and in particular I have the A, which goes well with the Z. I've got Zazo and at. Now, do I have a play in row B? Z something E. I don't think I do. Do I have a bingo with this rack? Well, I would, through an N, I would have Stan Zaic. I can't see anything through the T or the E. Although I do have the IZE ending. So where else can my Z play? Possibly on this. Okay, I don't need to think about that. My opponent's played, so I can play Za for 44 points. Okay, Za for 44. Is there anything better than this? Nothing I can put on the end of Za, so I don't think there is. I'm going with this. Quite nice. But do I have a bingo? I'm only 13 points behind now, which is good. I've blocked the floaters in emote apart from the M. Can't see anything with the M and this rack. Can't see anything with the B or the U. But I've got a good scoring tile in the Y. The Haunt Hoker spot has been taken. Now I've got the SY combo for row J. What's the best I can do here? Not very much. And in fact, nothing at all that I can see. Nothing ending SY. The rack looks like there should be something, but I'm not seeing it. Now, column 11 is a bingo lane for bingos beginning RE. Can't see anything. Now, that's really annoying about the SY. Well, fairly annoying. A little bit annoying. However, it does mean I keep the S. If I played off just the Y, the rest of the rack is pretty good. So, what's the best I can do with just a Y? I can't play Auntie. Well, what about playing just OK? Because then I've got an S for making OK, so I'm creating an extra lane. It doesn't work for a bingo with S in last place, but it still works for every other place. Anywhere else for the Y? No, I think that's it. And that stays available. My opponent creates no new floaters and blocks one. So, do I want to play Y for just 19? And I do have a play across here. Let me see what this scores. 39. Keeping an okay rack leave. I think I have to go with this over okay, given how limited the board is. I could easily play just the Y and then have a bingo which doesn't play. So is this my play? Yeah, I think so. Not great. I'm back to the solitary vowel. The U, not particularly helpful, although there could be something through the U and the E, likely to end in E. But I can't see something. Well, that hasn't paid off. Well, it really wasn't meant to pay off. It was meant to score well. The rack leave CIT, not great, but the pickup of 4 1-point consonants is disappointing. One more vowel would have made quite a difference. Now, I don't have anything which goes after ZAR. I'm looking for ways of scoring and playing off quite a few tiles. Still both blanks to come and only 31 tiles in the bag. Now, what about row B? Do I have any plays something EI? And in particular C something EI? I don't think so, even though NR, N and T both go underneath the I. I've got synced through the C. 18 points, not great. Keeping LRT, not great. 38 points because of a floater I provided in order to end up with this rack. Is this E of any help to me? Not sure it is. I can't play very much in column 4 apart from just a 3-letter play like 8, but that's giving 5 consonants. I don't want to do that. So, given that there are now 27 tiles and 2 blanks, what about playing a lot of tiles through the E, even if it isn't a bingo? How can I do that? Clock, 12 minutes. Tempting to put the C on this double letter square to maximise score. That could be punished with those blanks out there. Look at all these A's and E's, bingo-y vowels. Still one S to come. I'm only 30 points behind. Cat is good and Azo is good, but I don't have an A. So what does Scent score? Keeping hold of my eye. 12 points. That is pretty sad. And I'm creating an S front hook, which I don't have, so that's coming back. I can do better than that. The B and the U are not particularly useful, so I don't have to keep them open if I can score well using them. So do I have any plays? C blank U. I've got Cult, which scores almost nothing, but the rack leave's pretty good, especially with this E. It's a bit of a gamble because I'm only scoring 8 points, so I'm going to be 20 points behind after this, and my opponent could easily block this E and score well. However, there is also the E of emote, and there's a ton of A's and E's to come, all of which go very well with these 4 tiles. So, why don't I play Celt instead, rather than Scent? Using the same tiles as Cult, scoring slightly more, creating a bingo lane in row M, a non-dangerous one. I am blocking the E, which would help me, but I'm denying that for my opponent, and there are a lot of E's to come, so I think I'm going with this. Crikey, that was fast. Both blanks, huge score for my opponent. I'm 100 points behind with a dismal rack, and I've blocked the board with Celt. This is grim. 17 tiles left, including the Q, and no blanks. Where did it all go wrong? And what do I do? Is there any way back? 100 points is doable, but it's much more doable when you're sitting with a bingo on your rack, not with a rack like this. If I change, my opponent just plays vertically in column 14 and the board is dead. And he goes into a 120 point lead, which is almost 2 bingos. So this is pretty awful. What a dreadful pickup that was from Trin IIU. So, what to do? I think I do need to play. I've got the last U in case I draw the Q, but I'm not sure it's worth hanging on to for that possibility. If I draw the Q, I've got Chi and Cat for a big score, and that might be worth aiming for. That might be my route to salvation. Chi and Cat plus a bingo. So how can I sort the rack out? I can play unsee. Yeah, unsee this go, then Chi next go, and then the bingo. Okay, that's my route to salvation. Right, okay, 63 for my opponent. I'm just 150 points behind now. 12 tiles in the bag. I've got the ified ending, but torrified not good. I would need my R to be an N for notified. Can't see anything else with this rack. Only 255 points. Dismal. That probably means I haven't bingoed in this game, and looking around at the red words. An awful lot of 4-letter words. Okay, so what to do? And I note I had set up another Q spot, which I hadn't realised, but would have been good had I have drawn a Q. So I'm looking to play F and I. The game is lost, so I should be now looking to minimise the losing spread. I think if is good, it scores well and maintains bingo potential, and it's not a wild and crazy thing opening up, say, a 9-time, which my opponent can easily score off. Finally, a nice rack. Just looking at the D, Dipteron. Doesn't play. Does it have any anagrams? It may do. Plenty of 7s here. Pointer, protein, etc., etc. I haven't seen anything which goes yet, but there are a few floaters at the end. The last 4 floaters in elevated to consider. Can't see anything ending A or T. What about E? Nope, can't see anything. And all I've seen is Dipteron. Is Dipteron a singleton, or does it have an anagram? Can't see an anagram. What about the B? Can't see anything. Now, new possibilities. Words ending LA, ET, and PE. Interpope, not good. I don't think. Can't see anything ending ET or ending LA. 7 tiles in the bag. Is there really nothing which goes underneath the T of Celt? That could begin with any of my vowels. So, protein, pterion, pointer, repoint, and tropine. Okay, none of those go. What about a play beginning S? Vowel, vowel. Can't see anything. So what to do with this rack? A player PO isn't creating a new bingo lane, but it is creating a good scoring spot for my opponent, especially with the J. So although that looks attractive, it's not the right play. A lot of A's to come, and I don't have one. That's not a problem. Only one E and one I, and one O. 6 minutes on my clock. Lep doesn't take an E at the end. So what about playing Po? 23 points is a good score, and it holds out the possibility of a bingo without being wildly reckless, although the remaining tiles are massively bingo-y, so I could be on the receiving end of a bingo, but if I'm not, then I'm well placed to play one myself. So, Po for 23. Retains, finally, the rack of my dreams. And none of the bingos which use a B work. I do have an S street underneath the T, and I have plays in row O, so I'm pretty sure I'm bingoing here. It won't win the game, but it will be nice to get a bingo down. And my opponent is likely to want to block this, in which case I have Anestri and Ansia. 8 brings Bannister and Barniest to the bingos with the B. Do I have anything S, Val? Don't think so. So it's likely to be an S street or anything which plays above what my opponent plays. He's got 6 minutes to figure out what to do and enjoy his victory. Elevated the critical turning point in the game. I think we were fairly close before that, but then my opponent bingoed and I just had dross with 3 I's and a U. Po takes an A in front, so it's possible that there's a bingo ending ALA, but I can't see one. My opponent could play down from DI, interfering with all my bingos, but he would be creating an additional floater, and retains is a massively good rack for finding bingos. There could well be something through U and E. So is it estuarine? Yep, that doesn't quite fit. And is there an anagram of estuarine? Estuarine, there could be. And if there is, I think there's only one. But it's not coming to mind. If my opponent's got a J, then any play beginning with J is going to stop me using the triple and stop me bingoing in row N, but it is going to leave Anestri alive. Okay, great. So my opponent's drawn the J. That will count against him on count back. I do have some overlaps, so a row N bingo is going to score more than Anestri, so let me find the best one which fits and demonstrate my massive knowledge of retains bingos. So Ansia, no, and I'm looking to try and overlap 4. I have to overlap 3. So Anestri, Ansia, something. Anestri, Ansia, Ratines, Retains, Retinas, Stainer, Starny, Steerin. Well, I think I'm missing a couple, but none of those work, even with a 3-tile overlap, which is poor. How long have I got? 4 minutes. Surely I can do better than Anestri. I am going to stay on this. I need to not miss a retains bingo, which is better than an estuary. So my E has to go here. Ansia and estuary, ratines, retains, retinas, Stainastani steering. That's about it. I'm feeling I'm missing nastier. That's the one I'm missing. That doesn't work. Okay, time to end the misery. Fortunately, the examiner's still down, so we won't see what I've missed. But you can place a comment in the box below the video. So, an estuary 61. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game. Which he does, and the final score, 391 to me, 457 to my opponent. A winning margin of 66 points, so well done to my opponent. And we will not see what I missed because of the examiner's down, but it's been a good game until halfway through, and then it became, well, almost immediately it became a lost cause, I think, and that almost certainly a lost cause became an actual lost cause within 1 or 2 moves. But anyway, I did manage a magnificent bingo at the end, so I hope you learned something from that bingo, and I hope you enjoyed the game, and I will see you next time.